tuning in from. It is about 2:20 here in New York. Very hot, peak summer right now. And yeah, it's been a little challenging to get outside these days. Really, really tough. But I'm gonna make it a point today for my mental health to get outside. So today, wanted to, share a few things other than just doing a reading. It's been a bit challenging here personally. Been really hard on myself this week, and today I woke up feeling kind of, I don't want to call it depressed, but feeling like, it's just one of those days. Didn't want to get out of bed, didn't, really hard on myself and where I am in my journey, whether it's work, whether it's spiritually, all of it. So wanted to take this moment and share with you guys, and do a little, let's just say, cleansing, clearing the space. So right here I have some Palo Santo, just going to set a vibe right now. Bring in that really good energy, set a nice vibe. Clear the space, clear the energy, clear the air. So, I brought some healing tools and kind of wanted to start and maybe end with one, obviously clearing the space right now, and two, share some things that, I really loved learning about on this path to healing for myself. So let's get started for this first share. So if you guys might be familiar with something called, let's see if I can get it in the camera, tuning forks. This is, note G and C. So I have like a beginner's kit, and I learned this from, someone who's really amazing sound healer. Did a really beautiful ceremony with her, and she also shared some knowledge, so this was really cool. But note G and C used together actually can help decompress, can help anxiety, and so I kind of wanted to start, I'll turn this music down really quick, start by just setting a vibe using these two here. Hopefully you can actually hear it. If you're familiar with tuning forks, you're kind of familiar with maybe some of the sound. So here I go. It's a very subtle sound, so it might not come through. Maybe something for me to kind of consider a proper microphone here, because that would be really awesome for you guys to actually hear that. It is, sound healing and therapy is something I'm totally interested in, and it's done wonders. It just starting your day of just setting a mood or a vibe, a moment to just chill and listen to this, there is something about the frequency that kind of brings you or me down more grounded. There's so much more to sound therapy and tuning forks in general. But I am not an expert here. It's just something I like to do in the morning and sometimes middle of the day, even before nighttime, to kind of just decompress and chill. So yeah, so that was a nice little start. Something else I also wanted to share is I brought this beautiful Tella. It might be kind of hard to see, but I will try to get a little closer so you can kind of see the, and forgive me, I'm not great with this camera, but so you can kind of see the art here. So a tela is a, let's just say, embroidered fabric from the Shipibo tribe in Peru. It's very significant, especially if you're familiar with plant ceremony or plant healing ceremonies. It's a very, beautiful thing that this culture creates, and typically, these little etches of lines right here, you'll see in all of the embroideries of, it represents this plant language. So in plant ceremonies, the shaman or the facilitator will sing out in Icaros, which is, this etched line here, and these squiggly lines to call in certain plants for your healing. So it's really beautiful. It's a very ancient knowledge that's been used, and this is very significant to me because as you can see here, there's this almost like water, it looks like a water bearer or like a vase, will you say, and it's pouring. Let's see if I can get it down here, down to this heart. And so it really represents to me being able to pour love out into the world. It's a very beautiful piece of work. And I like to have these things around as a nice reminder to in my grounding and remembering the work that I've been doing to kind of stay on the spiritual path. So I wanted to bring that here today to kind of harness this energy. We started with lighting some Palo Santo. We started with some tuning forks to kind of just set the vibe. And now we can shortly go into a tarot pull. So I have my deck here, this beautiful, little set that a friend gifted me. Again, I love to use the Rider-Waite deck. It's the classic deck. There's a lot of symbolism in this deck overall, not just in, let's just say, in the esoteric, spiritual world, but also in religion and everything else. So it's cool to see that it all exists here. And so today I really want to focus on compassion. It's really hard sometimes when I'm feeling there's just so much going on. I really want to harness this level of compassion for myself. It's easier said than done. It's like, oh yeah, I'm on the right track, I'm doing this, I'm making money to get by, and sometimes I end up stretching myself too thin, or I'm not having the greatest day. Today's one of those days. I'm just being really hard on myself of everything that's going on in my life right now. So I want to take this time to kind of put this intention and energy into today's poll about how can I be more compassionate with myself. So I'm gonna shuffle again. I like to, for any tarot beginners out there, I like to, there's no perfect or proper way to shuffle. I think there are suggestions out there, but for me, or for anybody, there isn't a proper way to shuffle. And so, yeah, how can I be more compassionate with myself, or give more compassion out into the world? So I usually start with my dominant hand, bottom, starting pulling from the bottom. I like to split my deck. How can I be more compassionate with myself? Okay. Split it into 3. How can I be more compassionate with myself? Oh, wow. Okay. Queen of Wands. Reverse, too. So let me just pull this card up really quick. The Queen of Wands reversed. So I always like to start by looking at cards in, upright position, because that, gives the first initial interpretation. And I'm curious, if there's anything from this card that pops out to you guys in terms of symbolism. I can start. So queen, female. There's, usually, typically, when you see a queen, there is some female energy involved. Also, a wand. So wands typically are also related to the element of fire. Fire can be spirituality. Fire can be inspiration. It is your drive, your driving force. And when you think of fire signs, so like Aries, for instance, they're very powerful, very I am about myself, but very driven. And also amazing that it is Mars Day. Thank you, Zara. Because Aries is ruled by Mars. So very interesting to also get this card. I don't believe that there's always I don't truly believe in coincidences, honestly. I think there's every sign that you get in life really does mean something. So other things in this card, you'll see this black cat. It's really interesting because this black cat kind of represents to me the underworld, maybe some darkness there. It almost looks like a devil, like the way the tail is. That's a really interesting interesting observation. Also, you'll see that not only is the queen holding the wand, the queen is also holding a sunflower life force. Again, Aries, the first of the whole astrology chart. So that is the beginning of our life force. So a couple of connections there. And then lastly, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a banner behind the Queen of Wands. And it looks like there's either 2 lines. It almost looks like the cat below the queen is like behind her as well, almost like in a dance with each other. Sorry, I realized that I am not totally focused here with the card. Here it is. And yeah, that's really interesting to see. I wonder if that, usually things in the background, to me, I see them as an opportunity, or I wouldn't say like telling of the future, but it could mean there's something, challenging going around. This kind of looks like a dance between 2 sides, so more of duality, and using that duality for balance. So yeah, and I guess overall for this card, there's a lot to say and interpret here, but I always want to go back to the intention that I set, and the intention was around how can I be more compassionate with myself. And I did when I pulled this card, it was reverse. So very, very interesting to have a reverse card, because that means that I probably am not being compassionate with myself. That is the whole thing that's going on here. I'm totally not being compassionate with myself. So, and the Queen of Wands is this, again, feminine energy, and she's bringing in a lot of spirituality, focus, and inspiration. And queens are what you think of queens. They're of royalty, they're of power, they're of status. So, I kind of relate this as myself. I'm not harnessing all that I have, but this is a reminder to kind of take a step back and remember that I have all this amazing feminine energy, amazing things that I've learned over the years, especially, you know, what we kind of went especially with my spiritual path. Like, it was interesting to even share that with you guys today, the tuning forks and stuff like that. So it's definitely super, super fascinating to receive this card and see that, and remind myself that, you know, she exists, she's here, and really take a moment to remember all of the things that I've worked on. What I would like to do next, so that was my interpretation of how I took this card to be. What I would like to say is, you know, with any tarot reading, it's always about the intention you put into it. It's never a right or wrong. Yes, there are certain ways to interpret cards. For example, you know, a queen is a feminine figure, but how does that relate to your situation right now? For me, I see it as my own feminine energy, but it could be, you know, a mother or a friend or something, or some type of female influence in your life. So, yeah, there's no right or wrong way. It's really just, how does this card actually best support you in the things that you're right now trying to understand, or what are you asking? So yeah, that was interesting. I'll now take some time to share what this would look like on, let's just say, one of my favorite sites, Biddy Tarot. So let me just pull this up really quick, and we can kind of go through together what exactly this could mean. And apologies, my cat is coming by. I'm trying to, oh, there, okay. Thought maybe I could get a glimpse of him. He is very cute, and I love his energy around. Okay, so actually, I'm surprised Biddy didn't come up here. So Queen of Wands. Hopefully you guys can see this. I will zoom in just a little bit. And it's always, oh, okay. It's always interesting because to read, you know, what a card could mean, based on a website. There's also other, let's just say, resources that I'll go into after this as well. Queen of Wands, so upright, courage, confidence, independence, social butterfly, determination. Reverse is self-respect, self-confidence, introverted, reestablished sense of self. Yeah, there are parts of that I definitely, I think, can relate to, especially in how I first read it, in terms of, again, reverse is a lot to do with self, and I have been feeling just really hard on myself, so it has a lot to do with my self-confidence. And truly, I have been introverted. I had not wanted to leave this apartment. It's been hard energetically to leave. It's also about 100 degrees here in Brooklyn, New York, so makes it really tough. If any of you guys are in the city, yeah, it's a tough time. But here I will kind of talk through, I love that Biddy also shares a description and also talks through the symbolism, because the symbolism to me is like the most interesting part of tarot. and not the most, I mean, it's one of the most interesting parts of tarot, other than obviously using as a self-reflection tool. It it means a lot, because the more that you can the more you can dissect in terms of symbolism, it goes really deep, and could even tap into some really interesting esoteric topics. So the Queen of Wands sits upon a throne decorated with lions facing opposing directions, a symbol of fire and strength, hence, the wand. In her left hand, on her crown, and behind her, sunflowers, symbolizing life, fertility, joy, and satisfaction. In her right hand holds a wand with one small sprout springing to life. A black cat sits at her feet, a sign that while the queen is bold and outgoing, she's also in touch with her shadow self, the darker, the lesser known side of her being. Yep, and that's, it's interesting, because when I saw that cat, I was like, it's, a sign of something dark, the devil, or something like that. But anyway, that was an interesting description. I won't go through too far, because I do want to share another resource, but just so you're aware, on these different websites, there's obviously a deep dive of the upright, there's a deep dive of the reversed, and in general, one thing I would like to say about reverse cards, even though reverse seems like, oh, you have currently a blocker or something like that. It's a self block. Always has to do with like the inner self usually. It's never a bad card. In tarot, you see all these different cards. Let's just say judgment or death, or or you get a reverse card. It's never, even though it could sound negative, like you have a block at the moment, it's really an invitation for you to take as, okay, how can I move forward, knowing that, I have this challenge in my life. And for me, in this, time of needing compassion, I think a big part of it is knowing that I have all this life energy within me. It might not be at this very moment, but as in life comes, there's a lot of ebbs and flows, ups and downs. So it will come back. And I know, after through this hard time, I'll come back in kind of a way of rebirth. So I'm very, very excited for that. Cool. Let's take a moment. I'm gonna try to get set up and pull out, the next item here, which is reading through this really cool resource book that I have. I won't go too far. I don't want to make this me reading the entire time, but it is a really cool book that I love. And so I'll be back in literally 1 minute. So stay there. Hello. All right. Cool. I am back. So, this book that I wanted to share with you guys today, I'll try to get it right in the camera. It's called Modern Tarot by Michelle Tea. The cool thing about this is the author, takes a very modern twist to everything. In terms of interpretation, so more modernized topics of love, and current state of affairs, not super political, but there's certain things that has a lot to do with current society. So it's interesting to see, and I just love her writing. The cool thing too, if you, let's see if I can get it in the camera here. So she also has her own drawings. One thing I love how she ends each of the interpretations is this one section that she talks about. It's like, be the Queen of Wands, or embody this card. And a lot of it's kind of witchy. It's like using certain herbs and spells, or, you know, harnessing in specific energies to do that. So I find that to be super, super cool. And yeah, definitely, it's not an expensive book as far as I remember, and it's something that's really awesome to read, especially when you're looking through different interpretations. I honestly like to look through Biddy. I like to look through this, sometimes Labyrinthos, depending on if I just want to get, you know, all different sources together. Okay. I'll do a little bit of reading here. Hopefully I don't bore you too much, but just want you to get an idea of, you know, the type of writing that she has here. All hail the Queen of Wands. Everybody loves her, and what's not to love? Her good vibes are infectious. She's always got something cool up her sleeve. She runs with an interesting posse, and her outfits are bewilderingly excellent. She seems to have energy to spare, so if you're looking for inspiration, she's a great card to come into your worlds. The key to this queen's infectious joy is that she's incredibly ambitious, but not deeply non-competitive. She's always hustling, but she wants to know about your hustle too, and if there's ever anything she can do to help, she will. The Queen of Wands has a serious abundance mindset. There is more than enough to go around, and it's our duty to assist others working to make their dreams come true. If the Queen of Wands has come into your life in the form of another person, get ready to meet your new best friend. These people have irresistible energy. They're often funny and charming, the life of the party. If you've noted the lions on her throne and wondered if she has any affiliation with the astrological sign Leo, you're spot on. I love that there's that small little minor detail about the card, of Leo and the lion. You know, I did notice the lion heads, but I kind of just moved on with the interpretation. So it's so cool to kind of, again, notice one small piece of symbolism and relate it to something, you know, that is familiar to you. So this person, a strong female or a person with a radiant feminine flair about them, loves to be the center of attention. All right, I will stop there. There's a bit more to read, and, you know, if you guys enjoy me reading, definitely let me know, and next time I will read away. But I kind of wanted to go and move forward, since we did another already interpretation. Be the Queen of Wands. So this is the really cool part. How to be and embody the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a witch, as symbolized by the black cat, her familiar resting at her feet. So just by practicing magic at all, you're well on your way to embodying her spirit. But if you're looking to amp up your positivity and confidence, there are a couple of spells to do the trick. The sunflower the Queen of Wands holds in her hand demonstrates her allegiance to the sun and all that the star represents in magic: magnetism, outgoingness, vitality, self-love. Sunflower magic is a great way to channel her vibrations. So funny. I actually just grabbed sunflowers recently at the farmer's market. It is, you know, a beautiful, beautiful representation of life and fertility. Keep a single flower or a bouquet on your altar or someplace where you can see it regularly. Pluck some petals and a leaf and put them in a pouch, red, orange, or yellow preferably, along with a handful of sunflower seeds. Wear or carry the pouch with you as you seek to wear and carry the Queen's magnificent vibes. Another one talks about taking sunflower seeds and snacking on them, but taking that time while snacking to be mindful of this queen energy, her fierceness, and feel it nourishing your body as you are taking it in. Other things talks about the altar, how you can really light candles as a symbol for her. Fire of the candles maintain energy of lust or warmth, help illuminating light, so asking to help your own energies to rise and burn strong. This is, again, when doing altar work, it's really great to set an intention, have, whatever materials you're using, there is like a clear intention that it is there. So, yeah, that is pretty much all that I wanted to wrap up with today. And I kind of wanted to end this session with a moment of just lighting some more Palo Santo, because this was a really great session. I loved sharing this with you guys, and to me, Palo Santo just one, I love the smell, but two, it's significant to continue the good energy, and it promotes that type of healing and good energy. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and hope you had enjoyed this. And I hope to share with you guys again next week. I want to try to be better about scheduling in advance. However, I'm not great with scheduling. Actually, I realize now, next week, I'm actually in a very long work session next Tuesday. So I may either be on Wednesday or Thursday instead next week. So if you guys happen to be around, definitely come in. If I can, I'll try to schedule something. This is kind of new to me, but I think with scheduling, it makes it a little easier if people actually want to join and come see. Anyway, thank you so much for joining today. I love to hear your comments and how you're here to best support. Just joining this and any type of feedback in terms of things you'd like to see. I eventually want to do other people's readings on here. I have to figure out how to actually do that, in terms of selection. I know there are tools out there, especially on Streamlabs, so I'm exploring. So just give me a little bit of time, but soon enough, I will be doing some more interactive things and readings for people who join. So thank you so much. I hope you stay cool wherever you are this week, and hydrated. I hope you have a